Some secrets eat you alive from the inside. For 50 years I carried one that Hollywood never wanted the world to know about. Not because it was scandalous, because it was too damn pure for this town of sharks and phonies. The year was 1952. I was at the peak of everything fey money rolling in. America treating me like some folk hero, walking tall, playing cowboys while real heroes came home from Korea broken and forgotten. That is when I met Danny Morrison. Picture this. I am leaving Paramount Studios and there is this kid sitting on the curb, 8 years old, wearing a Marine's dress uniform 5 sizes too big. Sleeves hung past his hands, but he wore it with more dignity than most grown men. "Son, whose uniform is that?" I asked. The kid looked up with eyes that had seen too much. "My dad's, Mr. Wayne. He died in Seoul last month." Military family composure, but pain hiding underneath. Have you ever had a moment where your whole life was about to change? Where time stopped and waited for you to make a choice that would define who you really were? This was mine. "What is your name, Marine?" "Danny Morrison, sir." He attempted a salute with oversized sleeves flopping. "My mom's inside trying to get work. She says we might get to eat today if she gets the job." Here I was, making more money in a month than most families saw in 5 years, and this boy, this son of a hero was hoping to eat today. "Tell me about your dad, Danny." For 20 minutes. I heard about Staff Sergeant Thomas Morrison, how he'd promised Danny they'd go fishing when he got back, how he'd taught Danny to throw a baseball before shipping out, how he'd written letters every week, always ending with "Be strong for your mother, Marine," how he'd died pulling 3 wounded Marines to safety under enemy fire, earning a posthumous Silver Star that arrived 2 weeks after Danny found out his father was never coming home. A real hero, not the kind who gets statues or parades, but the kind who dies in mud thousands of miles from home, so his boy can sit safely on a Hollywood curb. And his boy was sitting on a curb in clothes that didn't fit, waiting to find out if his mother could earn enough to put food on their table. That is when the idea hit me. But first, you need to know about the conversation that changed everything. Danny's mother Sarah got the job, $40 a week. Good money for 1952, but not enough for the future a hero's son deserved. I started showing up places coffee near the studio when Sarah took breaks, walking past their apartment building, seeing Danny playing alone. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I saw Danny on the front steps, still in that oversized uniform. But this time he wasn't sitting proud. His little shoulders were shaking. "What is wrong, Marine?" "Mom's sick," he whispered. "Real sick, coughing up blood for 3 days. But she won't go to the doctor because we can't pay. And I don't know what to do, Mr. Wayne." Dad always knew what to do. Right there with an 8-year. Old boy breaking apart in front of me. I made a decision that would stay secret for 50 years. "Danny, how would you like to be my personal advisor on military films?" "What does that mean?" "You make sure I get the uniform, right? Honor soldiers like your dad. Advisors get paid. Good money." It was a lie. The sweetest lie I ever told. What really happened. I set up a trust fund through my personal lawyer. Every month, Sarah Morrison received a check for $200. The note: military consulting fees for Danny Morrison's advisory services. But that wasn't the half of it. Sarah's medical bills paid anonymously. Danny's school supplies, clothes, bicycle all appeared like magic. When Sarah needed tuberculosis surgery, a mysterious benefactor covered everything. Little League equipment appeared on their doorstep. For 12 years, I was Danny Morrison's secret guardian angel. Hollywood never knew a damn thing. Studio heads would have killed me. It violated every rule. Stars don't get personally involved. Don't spend their own money without publicity credit. But I wasn't doing this as John Wayne movie star. I was Marion Morrison, a man who'd never served his country and needed to honor the sacrifice of men like Thomas Morrison. The hardest part wasn't the money or secrecy. It was watching Danny grow up and not taking credit. Watching him excel in school, play baseball, become the young man his father would have been proud of, pretending I barely knew him. Every few months, Danny would wave. "Thanks for the advisor job." I'd wave back, bursting with pride inside. Then came 1964, and everything almost fell apart. Danny was 20, home from college, when his mother sat him down. "Danny, there is something about the consulting money." Sarah was dying. Tuberculosis had returned. She'd spent 12 years wondering about mysterious consulting fees and finally figured it out. "Mr. Wayne never hired you as a consultant, did he?" Danny's world crashed. The job he'd been proud of, none of it was real. "He just helped us all this time?" Danny cried for the first time since his father's funeral. 3 days later, he showed up at my house. "Mr. Wayne," he said, voice controlled like the 8-year-old boy. My mother told me the truth. We stared at each other, two men carrying a secret that had shaped both our lives for 12 years. "Why didn't you tell me? How do you explain that his pride mattered more than taking credit?" "Because your father earned it," I said. "You deserve the life he wanted to give you. All those years, I thought I was earning that money." "You were. Every day you made your mother proud, every A you brought home, you were earning it." That is when he broke down. Not controlled tears, but broken sobs of a boy who'd realized someone loved him enough to lie for 12 years to protect his dignity. "I want to pay you back every penny." This was the moment I'd been dreading. Danny's pride was about to destroy him. "Son, that wasn't a loan. It was charity. I can't live with it." That night, I couldn't sleep. By morning, I had a plan. "Danny, I have a proposition. You want to pay me back? Fine, with service, not money. I am starting a foundation for military families, kids who lost fathers in Korea, Vietnam. I need someone who understands what it is like to grow up without a father. The job pays well. Every dollar you earn can go toward what you think you owe me. Deal?" This isn't another lie. I give you my word as a man who knew your father's sacrifice, this is real. That is how the Thomas Morrison Foundation was born. Danny ran it for 30 years, helping thousands of families. He paid off every penny, plus interest. But here is the secret within the secret. Every dollar he paid back went right back into the foundation. Every payment became funding for another military family. The circle was complete. The son of a hero had become a hero himself. Danny Morrison died in 2010. Age 66. At his funeral, I sat in back listening to stories about lives he'd touched. His son Thomas Morrison's grandson gave the eulogy. A doctor who saved kids' lives after the service. I walked to the coffin. Danny looked exactly like the 8-year-old boy I'd met 60 years earlier. I whispered what I'd wanted to say for 50 years. "Your father would be proud, Marine." In 2012, a package arrived. Danny's son had found a leather-bound journal among his father's things. "Mr. Wayne," the letter read. "He kept records of everything, every payment, every family helped, every life changed. He wrote it all down. I think it is time the world knew what real heroism looks like." On the last page, Danny had written, "Mr. Wayne taught me that heroism isn't about the uniform you wear or movies you make. It is about acting when no one is watching, giving when no one will know, lying when the truth would hurt someone you care about. My father died a hero's death in Korea, but John Wayne lived a hero's life in Hollywood. Both men shaped who I became. I spent 40 years wondering if I truly earned that first $200 check. Now I know the answer. I earned it the moment I chose to honor both their legacies instead of wallowing in self-pity. Every family we helped through the foundation was my way of saluting two heroes who never asked for recognition. That journal sits in my desk drawer now, next to trust fund documents and a faded photograph of 8-year-old Danny Morrison in his father's uniform. Sometimes late at night when sleep won't come, I pull out that photo and remember the weight of that moment. The choice between walking past another person's pain or stepping into it completely. The families that the Thomas Morrison Foundation helped are still out there. Doctors, teachers, engineers, soldiers, second and third generation heroes building on the foundation their grandfathers died to protect. Some of them don't even know where their opportunities came from. They just know someone believed in them when the world seemed determined to forget they existed. Still living lives that Thomas Morrison died to protect, that Danny Morrison worked to support, that a guilty movie star funded from shadows. That is the real secret Hollywood tried to hide for 50 years. Not that I was generous, half the stars throw money at charity for publicity. The secret was that I did it right, quietly. Without taking credit, the boy in the oversized uniform grew up to help thousands of other boys and girls in oversized uniforms. The circle of sacrifice that began with Staff Sergeant Thomas Morrison in Korea continued through his son and reached families across the country. That is what real heroism looks like. Not the movie kind with stirring music and dramatic speeches. The real kind, where you plant seeds in secret and watch them grow into forests. Some secrets are worth keeping. This one kept itself for 50 years, protected by dignity, honored by memory, cherished by a movie star who finally found a way to serve his country without wearing a uniform. No, you know the truth. But if you are tempted to help someone and demand credit, remember 8-year-old Danny Morrison in his father's Marine uniform, sitting on a Hollywood curb, hoping his mother would earn enough to eat that day. Ask yourself, what would a real hero do? That is a promise from a man who spent 50 years learning the difference between playing heroes on screen and being one in real life.